In this video, we're going to look at TIBCO Data Science Workbench and how data is stored within the platform. You'll see that we have results tables as well as data tables that contain the information for our analysis. Within the data table, you'll see that we have information stored horizontally and vertically. The vertical columns are variables, the horizontal rows are cases. This information allows us to store the data that we need for a particular analysis. That data is stored in a table, and the number of variables and cases is stored right next to the table name. You'll also see that we have a couple of blank fields that you can put some information in around those data tables just for your records. Now, if we want to, we can close down this information and let's look at one particular table. I want to double click on the column header and look at some information around this variable. You'll see that I can look at the variable name, the type of the information, how this variable is measured. We can look at the format of the data that's included. We can change the decimal places. We can even include some additional information in the long name field. We also have a missing data code. This missing data code allows us to recognize any particular code we enter into the data as missing data. Now, we can also go in and we can look at additional information in these variables as well. We can cycle through the variables by clicking on those arrow columns or click on All Specs. And this All Specs allows us to look at information about all of the variables at one time. This allows us to get a more comprehensive view of the data that we're looking at. This information allows us to look at interactive analysis in a new way. But what we want to do is we want to take that interactive analysis and we want to make it repeatable and reproducible. These workspaces that we've just added the data to allow us to do that. We add nodes into the workspaces that represent those interactive analytic functions, just like changing information around the variables. I can go into dialogues that look like exactly we were using in the data tables, and I can change a variable name in this instance. I can change information around the measurement type for a particular variable, and whenever I run that node, what it does is it performs those actions. I can go in and you can see that it's changed the variable name as I've indicated, and if I wanted to see that it's actually performed that functionality, I can go in and I can look, and you'll see if I go back to that all specs dialog, if I look at the variable name and the measurement type, it's red. That indicates it's performed the functionality that I've indicated as I set those parameters within the individual workspace. So you can make anything repeatable. Now let's look at this particular format of data. You'll see that we have some text here in payment of previous credits. What these are actually text labels. If I go in and I look at the data, you'll see that it's typed double. But if I click on text labels, you'll see that I have numeric data that represents some level of that categorical variable. These text labels allow me to represent numbers as text. Just be careful of those implications. We can go in and we can look at those text labels either as its numeric or text counterpart. This is how data is stored within TIBCO Data Science Workbench.